Genesis chapter 14, Beresheet 14. Yudal. Vayehi biyemei Amrafel melech Shinar Aryoch melech Elasar Kedar leomer melech Elam Atid'al melech Goyim. Now it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, the king of Shinar, Aryoch, the king of Elasar, Kedar leomer, the king of Elam, and Tidal, the king of Goyim. Asu milchama et Bera melech Sidon, ואת בירשה מלך אמורה, שינאב מלך אדמה, ושם עבר מלך צבועים, ומלך בלה he Zoar. They waged war with Bera, the king of Sodom, and with Birsha, the king of Amorah. Shinab, the king of Adma, and Shemever, the king of Tzivoim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar. Kol ele chavru et emek hasidim hu Yam HaMelach. All these joined in the valley of Sidim, which is the Dead Sea. 12 shana avdu et Kedar leomer, ושלושה-עשרה shana maradu. For 12 years they served Kedar leomer, and for 13 years they rebelled. It's interesting. I always thought this was different. They translate this differently than in translations that I've seen before. In translations that I've seen, it says they served Kedar leomer for 12 years, and in the 13th year they rebelled. But the way they translate it here is that they served Kedar leomer for 12 years, and they rebelled for 13 years. That would make 25 years in total of their interaction with Kedar leomer. That's not how I perceived it. No, it must be they made a mistake here. And how I know this is by next verse. The next verse they translate in the 14th year. So it couldn't be that it was 12 years, because it's 12 years, and 13 years, it would have to be the 26th year. So I think they made a mistake in the translation here. So let's read it. For 12 years they served Kedar leomer, and in the 13th year they rebelled. וב-14 shana בא קדר לאומר והמלאכים אשר איתו, ויעקו את רפאים באשתרות קרניים ואת עזוזים בהם, ואת האימים השווה קרייתיים. You see the way they translate this verse? They go, and in the 14th year Kedar leomer came. So if it was for 13 years they rebelled, it wouldn't make sense. So I'm concluding that they made a mistake. They wrote, for 12 years they served, and 13 years they rebelled, and then they go, and in the 14th year, Kedar leomer came, and the kings who were with him, and they smote Rephaim, in Ashtaroth Karnaim, and the Zuzim in Ham, and the Emim in Shaveh Kiriatayim. ואת אחורי ברעם בחררם שעיר עד אל פרן אשר על המדבר. And the Horites in their mountain Seir until the plain of Haran, which is alongside the desert. וישובו ויבואו אל עין משפט היא קדש, ויעקו את כל שדה העמלקי, וגם את האמורי, היושב בחצצון תמר. And they returned to Ein Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and they smote the entire field of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites who dwelt in Chatzetzon Tamar. Okay, what's going on here? I guess Kedar Omer had a beef with the Amalekites. You always see the Amalekites being fighting with the Jews. In this case, they were being hit by Kedar Omer. Okay, they returned to Amish Bawish Kadesh. They smote these are okay. Chatzatzot tomorrow. Vayetze melech Sidon umelech Amora umelech Adma umelech Tzevoim umelech Bela Hitzoar Vayachru itam milchama be'emek Hasidim. And the king of Sodom, and the king of Amorah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Tzboim, and the king of Bela, which is Tzoar, it's interesting. King of Bela, Tzoar, I thought that his name was Bela. Here they say that the king of his name was Tzoar. I thought the city was Tzoar. I'm confused now. Okay, here they say Umelach Bela Hitzoar Ve'achnaru itam milchama be'emek Hasidim. In the valley of Hasidim. No, I'm just kidding. And the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, the king of Admah, the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is Tzoar, came forth, and they engaged him in battle in the valley of Siddim. Et Kedar Omer melech Elam, v'tid'al melech Goyim, ve'amrafel melech Shinar Aryoch, melech Elasar, Arba melachim et Achamisha. With Kedar Omer, the king of Elam, and Tidal, the king of Goyim, and Amraphel, the king of Shinar, and Aryoch, the king of Elasar, 4 kings against the 5. Ve'emek Hasidim be'erot chemar vayanusu melech Sodom v'Amorah vayeplu shama v'hanish'arim hera nasu. Now the valley of Siddim was composed of many clay pits, and the kings of Sodom and of Gomorrah fled, and they fell there, and the survivors fled to a mountain. Bitumen, you call it. And they took all the possessions of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their food. Interesting. I wonder why they took their food. You don't usually hear people taking their food. And departed, okay? ויקחו את לוט ואת רכושו בן אחי אברהם וילכו והוא יושב בסדום. And they took Lot and his possessions, son of Abram's brother, and they departed. He was living in Sodom. ויבוא הפליט ויגד לאברהם העברי והוא שוכן באלוני ממרא האמורי אחי אשכול ואחי ענר והם בעלי ברית אברהם. And the fugitive came and he told Abram the Hebrew, and he was living in the plain of Mamre the Amorite, the brother of Eshcol and the brother of Aner, who were Abram's confederates. It's kind of cryptic. It says Hapalit, thus the fugitive. Who is Hapalit? Who is this fugitive? So if you're just reading it alone, you wouldn't know. You'd have to guess. But Rashi does have a comment on that. According to its simple meaning, this Palit was Og, who escaped from the battle And that's what's referred to in Deuteronomy 3:11, where it says only Og survived from the rest of Raphaim. And that is the meaning of survived. That Amraphel and his allies did not kill him when they smote the Raphaim in Ashroth Karnaim. This is Og who escaped from the generation of the flood. How he escaped, I don't know. Some people say that he hung onto the ship. I don't know. The boat of Noah. And the meaning of the rest of the Raphaim, as it said in 6:4, the feeling on the earth. And Og intended that Abram should be killed, and he would marry Sarah. Okay, that's what the Palit is. Og. Okay. Vayishma Avram ki nishba achiv. Let's close this. Where are we here? Vayishma Avram ki nishba achiv vayarek et chanichav ilidei beto 18 ו300 vayirdof ad Dan. And Abram heard that his kinsman had been taken captive, and he armed his trained men, those born in his house, 318. And he pursued them until Dan. Vayichalek alehem laila, va'avadav vayakem vayirdefem ad chova asher mismol ladamasik. And he divided himself against them at night, he and his servants, and smote them and pursued them until Hobah, which is to the left of Damascus. Vayashev et kol harachush, v'gam et lot achiv rechusho, heshiv v'gam et anashim v'ta'am. And he restored all the possessions, and also Lot, his brother, and his possessions he restored, and also the women and the people. ויצא מלך סדום לקראתו אחרי שובו מהכות את קדר לעומר ואת המלכים אשר איתו ואת עמק שווה הוא עמק המלך. And the king of Sodom came out toward him after his return from spying Kedar Omer, and the kings were with him, to the valley of Shaveh, which is the valley of the king. ומלכי צדק מלך שלם הוציא לחם ביין והוא כהן לאל עליון. And Malki Tzedek, the king of Shalem, brought out wine, bread and wine, and he was a priest to the Most High God. Vayevarachehu vayomar Baruch Avram le'el Elyon koneh Shammai va'aretz. And he blessed him, and he said, Blessed be Abram to the Most High God, who possesses heaven and earth. Ubaruch el Elyon asher migen sarecha biadecha vayiten lo ma'aser mikol. And blessed be the Most High God, who has delivered your adversaries in your hand, and he gave him the tithes from all. Vayomer melech Sodom el Avram, ten li hanefesh v'harachush kachlach. And the king of Sodom said to Abram, Give me the souls and the possessions, take for yourself. Vayomer Avram el melech Sodom, harim moti yadi el Adonai el Elyon, koneh Shammai va'aretz. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I raise my hand to the Lord, the Most High God, who possesses heaven and earth. Im michut ve'ad sroch na'al, ve'im ekach mikol, asher lach ve'lo tomar, ani he'esharti et Avram. neither from a thread to a shoe strap, nor will I take from whatever is yours, that you should not say, I have made Abram wealthy. Biladai rak asher achlu hanyarim v'chelek ha'anashim asher halchu iti aner eshkol umamre hem yikhu chetkam. Exclusive of what the lads ate and the share of the men who went with me, Aner, Eshkol, and Mamre, they shall take their share.